You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 5.
So happy you're with us here on this Tuesday, 5 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Neda Irampour. Yeah, thank you for joining us. We know it's still dark out, but hey, daylight has been happening sooner and sooner, which has been fun to see, although the clouds are in the way. Let's see if we're going to get another day of that. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning. Sadly, we are. And it's not just the marine layer clouds now. We're also factoring in some mid and high clouds because of a trough of low pressure nearby. So all around a cloudy start to our morning. However, by the afternoon, we are holding out hope for a mostly cloudy day. That gives that little glimmer of sunshine that we could see. Farther east you are, better opportunity for that sunshine and the warmer you're going to get. So take a look. Inland, 77 degrees. Across the mountains, 81. Deserts warming up to 103. And then you head to the coast and we're much cooler than every other microclimate and average. So 68 is about as warm as we're going to get along the coast. We'll be a little cooler across the coast for the most part. Coming up, we'll talk about the opportunity for some monsoonal moisture in the forecast that could kick up our chances for some thunderstorms over the mountains. Neda, Eric, back to you.
Later this afternoon here, the Chula Vista City Council will vote on a plan to partially reopen Harborside Park.
We've been following this story for many months here. Families in the South Bay reached out to us here at CBS 8 last summer. They were complaining about the homeless encampment right by Harborside Elementary School. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live outside Chula Vista City Hall. There'll be a meeting. We're also hearing from the mayor. What are we expecting to see happen there, Dana Marie?
Well, Eric and Ned, I think a lot of family members here in the community are looking forward to what it's going to look like. And during phase one, grass and even a basketball court are some of the plans that they're looking to use for this area. Now let's take a look at some of the video of what right now Harborside Park looks like. You'll find an empty playground, chain link fence wrapped around Harborside Park. This has been the situation since last year when homeless encampments, crime and drug use forced the city to close it down. So many parents we spoke to say they have kids at Harborside Elementary. The school is right next door to the park. They're worried about that situation and what their kids could encounter if nothing was cleaned up. So the city's reopening plan hopes to change this. Along with opening a basketball court and grass, Mayor John McCann says they will be setting up a station for a park ranger. The city is exploring ideas for more improvements in the future. He says the city's new homeless shelter that opened last week will help prevent unhoused people from sleeping in the park.
To make sure that we have eyes on the parks so they can enforce the rules and make sure that their families and children are welcome.
Now again, phase one will be presented today at the city council meeting, but they're also looking for input in the future. Phase two is something where you can give your voice and your opinion. Go to CBS8.com, click on the story link. You'll find information on how you could do that, especially if you live in the Chula Vista community. You go to Harborside Park. This is something that you care about. You have a chance to turn this area into something that you really love and can care about. So again, CBS8.com is a resource for you. I'm Dana Marie McNichol, coming to you live from Chula Vista.
Dana Marie, thank you. And this morning we're following a report that revealed more than $3 million meant to go to local foster children have been intercepted by the county. The county is now facing litigation with plaintiffs claiming the money was supposed to go to Social Security benefits for those people that were needing it, but it was taken without their knowledge. Advocates for foster youth are pushing back against the practice.
For the state to intercept that money in secret behind the backs of foster youth, while they're in a particularly vulnerable position in care, is amoral and quite frankly predatory.
Well, we're told at least 300 foster children have been affected in the county. The county says it has stopped intercepting funds last year and is placing it in accounts for the children, but some people remain skeptical.
And now an update on what's been happening with many migrants here in town. Well, Jacumba now cleared of a migrant campsite this morning. So we have video before Border Patrol agents cleared out the many people there. They are getting people into vans and buses. We are told that they've all now been taken to processing facilities across San Diego. Many people from all different parts of the world were there in Jacumba. CBS 8 spoke to a few of them who explained why they made the long journey to the United States.
I want to live a good life. I want to study well. I want a good future.
Oh, so you just heard from a 13-year-old boy. He's from Azerbaijan. He traveled to Jacumba with his family, and he tells CBS 8 that he and his family were trying to get to the Mexican side of the border, but they were misguided by human smugglers, people who took all of their money, and those people dropped them off here on U.S. soil.
SeaWorld will soon face a multi-million-dollar lawsuit from the city of San Diego over rent payments that are way past due. In a vote yesterday, city council members overwhelmingly agreed to file the case. They note the amusement park owes the city $12 million, including rent, interest, and other fees. The city held off collecting it then because of the pandemic. They say they first warned SeaWorld of the balance last year, but the park still hasn't paid despite record revenues. CBS 8 has reached out to SeaWorld, but we have not heard back.
Today, San Diego City Council will be discussing an amendment in the city's agreement with ambulance company Falck. The ambulance service provider has come under fire for understaffing issues, long wait times when you call 911 during an emergency. Under the proposed amendment, Falck will be allowed to subcontract another ambulance company, and that's in hopes of providing faster service.
Today, Mayor Todd Gloria is unveiling the new infrastructure that will close Fifth Avenue downtown to cars. This is part of the city's long-term effort to make a walkable plaza in the Gaslamp Quarter. The promenade will ban cars and parking along Fifth Avenue between Broadway and K Street every day between noon and 2 a.m. Now, for the past 3 years, Fifth Avenue has closed at different times and between different streets. The hope with this new project is to make the area even more appealing to people who want to visit downtown.
So nice
Walk around, meander a bit.
Yeah. It does make it a little bit of a mess for all the Ubers and
Right.
you know everything going
They'll have
on
to
down there. But
bring
to
you around.
allow for, I mean, at night when it fills up with thousands of people,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much
It'll be
trouble to
nice.
have every road occupied with cars.
Totally.
So just
Yeah.
people be able to roam
And
the streets.
driving through Gaslamp is not something anyone, I
No.
think, enjoys
I was
doing.
going to say, you can also walk right outside of Gaslamp, order the Uber there, and avoid all the trouble.
Or like a scooter.
That's
or
the better
whatever.
plan.
Yes. Throw back to my scooter days. I'm not
Okay,
getting
no
on the
scooter.
scooter
We're
anymore.
not bringing up the scooter.
But I reminisce in the days when I loved riding the scooter. I used to ride that thing everywhere.
Scooter.
Until
Scooter
I took a
down,
tumble.
then,
yeah. Here I am. I made it.
You've learned and you've grown
Your
since
smile
then.
is still
Those
looking
veneers
very
are doing their job. Let's take a look at the forecast. It is going to be another cloudy one to start off the day. We all across the county really are going to see those clouds. And then by the afternoon each day, we'll see them pull back from your inland valleys, from your mountaintops, and give us a bit more sunshine. They're going to hug the coast, though, which means coastal communities are going to stay in that cooler than average range. They're going to stay cloudier. One thing that is kind of switching things up a bit for us, though, is going to be the increase in moisture. Tomorrow, all the way through really the upcoming weekend, we're going to see a daily opportunity for monsoonal moisture. Essentially, we're getting moisture sent in from the east of us, and that's going to trigger possibly a few thunderstorms over the mountaintops in particular, and also increase our humidity values county-wide. Live look outside at the dense marine layer, east facing from La Jolla. Well, a couple of your headlines here. That deep marine layer keeps the coast cloudy. Humidity increases as monsoonal pattern builds, and then a chance of thunderstorms this week, in particular for your mountains and deserts, but countywide will feel that humidity rise. Deserts have a lower chance of those thunderstorms coming to fruition compared to your mountains. Your mountains in particular are where we're going to be watching out for. And that means that if you have afternoon hikes planned from really tomorrow afternoon all the way through the upcoming weekend, you want to factor in the possibility that you might see a quick moving thunderstorm or two. Let's take a look at your forecast highs and you'll see how that cloud cover along the coast as it lingers into the afternoon is going to keep our coastal temperatures cool in the 60s. PB 64, La Jolla 62, and then you start to push east and take a look. The farther east you go, the warmer you're getting. You make it to Mira Mesa, National City, you're at 71. La Mesa's at 73. Santee, El Cajon 79, nearly 80 degrees. So every microclimate with the exception of your coastline is going to be in the above average range for your high temperatures. But Encinitas will be at 64, Vista 73, and Escondido 78 this afternoon. Nice and toasty out there. Across the mountains and deserts, pretty similar scene. Julian's warming to 81 this afternoon. Alpine 80 degrees, Borrego Springs 101, and Ocotillo Wells 104 degrees. Ned and Eric, I'll send things back over to you two.
All right, we are next going to be talking about a popular rapper who's facing firearm charges in San Diego. We're going to be bringing you the latest in Lil Boozy's case.
Plus, we're learning more about a water contamination problem on 2 Navy ships, one of them on the USS Nimitz. That report right after the break.
Get in the way. All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Experience real in a whole new way. From the all-new Rescue Junior, where learning about saving animals is fun, to the icy mission of the all-new Arctic Rescue, the longest and fastest straddle coaster on the West Coast, and spectacular new shows, concerts, parades, and fireworks. All in a world you need to rediscover. Tickets starting at $69.99 during our Memorial Sale. SeaWorld San Diego. Real amazing.
Get incredible Memorial Day savings now at Kearney Mesa Kia.
Smooth and easy buying.
San Diego's #1 Kia dealer.
Show off what you're driving.
Electrify your summer in a new Kia EV6 for $589 per month. Or go clean and green in a Niro EV for just $349 a month. Now's the time to trade in and trade up to an eco-friendly Kia.
Kearney Mesa Kia is easy to find now. Claremont Mesa east of 805.
Sempra Solaris sizzling summer solar sale is on. This month only save up to $2,000. Just in time for summer. Declare your energy independence with Solar Plus battery storage from Sempra Solaris. Your local veteran-owned solar, battery storage, roofing, and heating and AC installer. Choose Tesla Powerwall or Enphase batteries to avoid blackouts and control your system with your phone. Need a new heating and AC system? Do it now and get a lifetime warranty and a free Nest thermostat. How's your roof? Sempra Solaris is an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor. Get the Owens Corning 50-year warranty upgrade for free. It's the last roof you'll ever buy. This month only, get up to $2,000 off a complete Solar Plus battery Bill Buster system. $500 off for military and first responders, and a $500 downloadable coupon. That's up to $3,000 off. Plus, 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 18 months. Add the 30% solar federal tax credit, and you've got it made in the shade. Call now or visit sempersolaris.com.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way. All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Welcome back here. Today, at least 3 people are dead in New Mexico after police say an 18-year-old gunman started shooting in a neighborhood in Farmington. At least 9 people were injured in this, 2 officers wounded when they confronted that gunman. The gunman was killed by police there on the scene. Investigators have not named the shooter, motive not yet been released. New Mexico police expected to hold a press conference about this at some point today.
This morning, the FBI is facing sharp criticism over a special counsel's report regarding the Bureau's probe into the 2016 former President Donald Trump presidential campaign. The report, released by special counsel John Durham, found the FBI displayed a serious lack of analytical rigor and relied heavily on leads provided by Trump's political opponents. You may remember the probe looked into a possible link between Trump and Russia. It was later determined there was no collusion with Russia.
It has been a big deal, and I hope that we have clarified all these things that have caused this problem. But in the end, I hope it never happens again.
The FBI responding to the latest report, saying it has implemented dozens of steps to prevent these problems in the future. The former president also responding in a social media post, saying the American public was scammed.
And now we're getting a good look at the results of a Navy investigation into contaminated drinking water on 2 aircraft carriers. So according to this new report, a deteriorated gasket caused jet fuel to leak into 4 of the 26 water tanks. Now, 11 sailors got sick, but they were able to return to duty. But jet fuel leaking in the water. The tanks have been cleaned, inspected, and now returned to service. In the meantime, aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, an inspection found E. coli in 3 of the 26 of its water tanks. This after sailors said the water had a weird color and it smelled back in September. The report says contaminated water got into the tanks through a hole in the ventilation pipe. which was caused by corrosion. The pipe was repaired, the tanks were cleaned, and there were no reports of anybody getting sick.
A Louisiana-based rapper known as Lil Boozy has pleaded not guilty to felony firearm charges at a San Diego court. The rapper, whose real name is Torrance Hatch Jr., was arrested earlier this month when police found 2 weapons in his vehicle during a traffic stop. Hatch was in San Diego to perform at a local nightclub and film a music video. He has posted a $50,000 bail.
A police chase downtown coming to an abrupt end. Take a look at the video here. A driver crashed into another car. Police say they tried to pull over that driver at the corner of Pacific Highway and West Harper Drive just before 1:30. This was in the afternoon yesterday. Instead, they say the driver took off, making it about a half a mile over to Ash Street near Waterfront Park before it crashed into that other car. It looks like a minivan there. The bystander was hurt, treated at the scene, and you see video now of that driver being arrested.
This morning, one woman sadly is dead after a truck and van crashed into each other. This happened at around 1:30 on Telegraph Canyon Road in Chula Vista. You can see the damage out there. CVPD says a Ford truck heading eastbound crashed into a Honda Odyssey, making a left-hand turn. The driver was pronounced dead at the scene. Meanwhile, the passenger inside and the driver of the truck are being treated at a local hospital.
This morning, a report from the Federal Reserve Bank shows Americans are carrying a record amount of debt, about $986 billion in debt. That's here in the United States, almost $1 trillion. This is up by 17% in this last year. Lending Tree experts say interest rates are extremely high right now. The average rate about 21%. The average balance $7,300. So hard to pay that down when your rate's so high. So for those of you who want a lower interest rate, who doesn't, right? You want to help pay off your debt. Well, a survey found 76% of people who asked for a lower interest rate on one of their credit cards got it. As simple as making a phone call to your credit card company.
Time is running out for congressional leaders to come up with a plan to raise the country's debt ceiling. Between now and June 1st, there are only 4 working days on the congressional calendar, meaning that both chambers and the president need to come to an agreement by the end of the week. Otherwise, the United States could end up defaulting on its debts. Now, if that happens, mortgage and interest rates could skyrocket. Federal government programs from Social Security and Medicare to military salaries and veterans benefits, even free lunches for school kids, they could all be impacted.
It's more of a political issue now than an economic one, in the sense that there's really no reason why the debt ceiling can't be raised at this point.
The debt ceiling has been raised 78 times since 1960, including 3 times during the last administration.
Well, this year's Memorial Day weekend expected to be one of the busiest in years. AAA predicting more than 42 million Americans will travel 50 miles or more. So a majority of you are likely going to drive, but about 3.4 million people will be flying. The company Hopper says 76% of travelers are worried about flight delays and cancellations.
I'm actually quite concerned. Trusting that the first flight will actually get me to Boston is probably the most stressful part.
So airlines are saying that they are preparing for the summer travel season. In fact, right now they're hiring thousands of employees. Airlines did cancel 45,000 flights last summer, and that was due to staffing shortages.
If you're traveling on Memorial Day weekend or into the summer here, there's a chance you'll encounter a different kind of security. The TSA's facial recognition technology is now being tested at 16 airports across the country. This does not include San Diego, though. The closest airport to us using this technology, LAX. The technology requires passengers to insert an ID card into the machine with a camera, scans your face as you walk through, captures your image, and compares it to your ID. TSA says the technology confirms the ID matches your face. During the pilot program, passengers can choose to opt out. It's not clear when this will roll out at San Diego International.
I've not seen that one yet, but yeah, we'll see if it comes to town.
You know, you might be one of those situations where really early in the morning, especially for us, our eyes can be real puffy. It may not actually match your ID as you walk through if you got an early morning flight.
Like,
I promise it's me.
I know, right? They're like, are you wearing makeup?
Without
look like you have any makeup on today. Not enough mascara. Come on.
Throw some more on.
Yes, we also outside are running into quite a puffy start to the morning as far as the clouds go, because that marine layer is on repeat yet again. No big surprise, we have a dense layer of clouds outside. Temperatures are a little bit warmer than average for a couple spots on the county map, San Diego and Chula Vista included. They're at 60 degrees right now. Most other spots across the county are in the upper 50s to start off the morning. Winds are calm, but that marine layer is quite dense. So at a varying level of intensity, most of us can just see the overcast skies up above. Some of us are running into some lower cloud cover, meaning fog, as we kick off the day. We're going to start to pick up on more and more monsoonal moisture. And what that's going to set us up for is a trough of low pressure, basically to the south of us, ridge of high pressure to the north of us. That trough is going to turn that moisture counterclockwise, and then we'll see this ridge of high pressure turn clockwise and help to funnel it all in our direction. And what that's going to mean is an increase in humidity each afternoon moving forward, and the opportunity for some thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon hours for your mountaintops in particular. So watch out for that as we move forward. And you can see how humidity is going to rise. Anything that you see over 50% inland is where we start to get a little bit uncomfortable. Vista, Poway, for example, 3 p.m. today, they're going to be at 54 and 50%. We keep going all the way through your Wednesday afternoon, and we see 60% in Poway, 57 in Ramona, 42 in Julian. So humidity is going to stay high each afternoon to come. The reason why you see those 80s and 90s along the coast and overnight is because of that dense marine layer that comes back into play. So that's not really what we're concerned about in particular. It's that afternoon portion where even with the sun beaming down on us, we have humidity values in the 50 and 60% range. This afternoon, we've got cooler temperatures thanks to the clouds that are going to hug the coast. It will be tough to run into much of the sunshine along your coastal communities, but there are going to be a couple breaks in the clouds. 68 in Carlsbad, 66 in Del Mar, 77 in Poway, 82 in Ramona and Julian. Every microclimate, with the exception of your coast, will be in the above average range today and for virtually every day moving forward. We've got 60s, though, a stretch of them along your coast, some 70s, couple low 80s out there for your inland valleys, varying degrees of cloud intensity out there, but for the most part, what we're mainly concerned about is the threat of thunderstorms for that afternoon stretch. So about 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. is where we're seeing the best opportunity, and that's going to be mostly for Wednesday through Friday, but Saturday and Sunday even still hold an opportunity for it. Triple-digit heat out there across the deserts. Netta, Eric, I'll send things back over to you, too.